What's up? What's up? It's your boy AD, and that's all day. I'm finna make a quick video today talking about coming up as a broke gamer. So basically, I'm just finna talk about how I grew up when it comes to gaming, and what really I went through, and how, and I know my hair off, and how it went for me. Well, I grew up in a real poor family, to be honest, and I didn't really have my mother or father in my life. I was with my grandmother growing up, and she didn't have a lot of money. So growing up for me and with gaming was really bad, and it sucked because I really liked video games as a child. I mean, I loved them. Hell, one of my favorite things to do as a child was just play games. But I never could own them because nobody never bought me no system that ever bought me a game. This is true story. And and the only way I was able to play games was really through family members, through certain family members that I had. They had like when I was real young, it was family members. And they had like the NES, they had the Genesis, like when I was growing up I used to play the NES and the Genesis a lot. My cousin had one, certain family members. And I started to get a little custom with gaming. I really did start off with the NES. That's why I tried to make a collection with it, but I still gotta find me a good NES for that. I did keep some of my games that I had from my real past childhood. Let me drink on the sip on the coffee. But and it was tough for me gaming, man. It was tough. It was pretty sad because it's like I remember I used to always think about certain games, even go to sleep thinking about them because you just wish you could play them and you wish you actually owned them. And then I got a little older, and then eventually, PS1 came out. Like PS1 was another system I played a lot growing up. I didn't really play too much Super Nintendo. I played it in N64 through a few friends, but didn't really play that too much. I really played a lot of PS1 because when PlayStation 1 first came out, it seemed like everybody had a PS1 now. Crazy. But one thing I did forget to mention. I did end up getting the NES when I was younger. And can you believe I ended up getting one from a friend that I knew? It was this one girl that I knew in the past who was friends with one of my grandmothers. And she had two. And I used to go over her house play the games all the time. And she actually gave me one, which was pretty fucking cool. That's how I got my first game system. Then when I got a little older, I think my cousin ended up leaving me a Genesis too when I got a little older before the PS1 became hot because everybody was moving to PlayStation 1. So he left me with the Genesis. But again, barely no games. And I couldn't really buy anything. Just like with the NES when I got that NES. It's like I wasn't really buying nothing. It's like I had to get what I could get because nobody wasn't taking me nowhere, buying me nothing. Know that. So PS1 come out, I started playing games a little bit more because now everybody seems like they got a PS1. And you're a little older, so now you're gonna meet more friends. You're gonna do a little more, but it still sucks because it's like, dang, I ain't got no PS1. I'm playing these old Genesis games that's just old as ever. I think a lot of my stuff started failing, a lot of my game systems, and it was just crazy, man, because I didn't really have no game system for a while. Like, I'm trying to think, did I even get a PS1? Did I? Mm-mm. I think I did. Matter of fact, I did end up getting a PS1. But that was again like real late. It's like every time I did get a system, it was real late when it was getting old. And to be honest, I don't even remember how I got that PS1. And I do remember it was being messed up. And I had to flip it. Probably somebody gave me another system again. I had a few games for it, but again, not a lot. Not a lot though. But it was just crazy, man. The only reason why I'm telling this story because it's so crazy what I'm doing now. Like now, it's like I can play some games, but it's just crazy how I started off growing up. Like I barely ever had a game, barely ever had anything. If I did get anything, it was probably real late and old, and not probably not even a fairly working system, good work. So and then honestly, a lot of the games that I played was really through my friends, man. Cause I PS1 was dead, now PS2 and all this other stuff is out. I did. Now that I think about it, I also did have an original Game Boy. I had one. that was like the only, matter of fact, that was the only system that somebody had bought me when I was younger. And it wasn't from a family member too. And I had a few games I remember for it, like Tetris and stuff. But that was like it though. Again, I never really could get nothing. But once PlayStation came around, I really wasn't getting no games. Like, mm. It's like all my friends always had the newest systems, and I ain't had crap. But I played a lot of games through my friends, man, because I did have a lot of friends who had a lot of games. But it was just so shocking to me how I ain't have nothing, because like I was young, I ain't couldn't work yet. I couldn't get nothing. And then my uncle, who I barely knew, like I barely even knew my uncle, ended up buying me a PS2, and he bought me the SmackDown game. That was like the first time I ever got like a decent game system, and I was like, how old was I? I probably was like 15, 16 at this time. Only had one game for it. I got a few other games, but it's just sad what happened to that PS2, because the PS2, the damn SmackDown game got broke because I kept bringing it over people's houses. Something I shouldn't have did, because back in the day, people used to bring their systems over people's houses, and we used to just sit in there and play them games all day night long, man. Especially around the time when the original Xbox and the PS2 and the GameCube was hot. Oh my gosh. It just sucked because I never owned them, but it was crazy how I was always still kind of good at games, even though I never really owned them that much. I even had a pretty decent card career, and when playing with cards, that's another story though. I still have an interest in poker, but yeah, man. So I had to end up selling that thing, man, to get my GED, man, because I went through a lot of stuff in high school. I had to go to multiple high schools. Long story. And I had to sell it to get my GED, and I did. And then that was it. Like, I didn't have no game system for like years after that. Like, I wasn't even playing games much. I was, but then I stopped until I started making my own money, because now it's starting to get old, and now I'm in my 20s. Now I start making my own money. Like, it's so crazy when you start doing things for yourself, how things can change. And it's so crazy how when, everybody doesn't have those opportunities. Oh, I got this and I got that. Because, I see a lot of children nowadays spoiled and got so much stuff, but don't know what it's like to try to, get it on your own. Because I ended up getting my PS3, which I spent, man, when I got a PS3, I spent almost $200 on that thing. Got it kind of late. Got it like in 2010, but still got one. And then I was gaming for a little minute, buying little games in here. And that was like the first time in my life, right, when I was like 20 something, where I was like, okay, I can actually buy a game. All right. Wasn't taking it that serious though. Then my PS2 broke, PS3 broke. Then I had to get it fixed, which I did. Then it broke again 2 years later. Yes. Then my PS3 broke twice. Then after that, I was just really like F games, and then I just started going crazy in my life and doing. I felt like I felt like me doing these games is something special now, and it was there in my life, and I was doing what I was doing for a reason. Because it's like once my PS3 broke twice, and I started running the streets and not like because when I had games, I used to be more chill. Like, you got a game, you like. Maybe you might not be so interested in doing something you shouldn't be doing, because you can come home, chill, play a game, and maybe focus on something else at home. You know, because man, I do feel like sometimes it's good to have an interest or a hobby. That's why I'm just coming on here and telling you my little story. It really was rough for me growing up with not having the money to have games and all that. And that was just video games. Don't even get me started on other stuff I ain't have money for. But now, I didn't kind of work my way up, because after that, it was dead. Went through some stuff, got real broke, and got real messed up, real broke. And then just out the blue, I was just like, man, I want to get a game. This like years later, right? This was like 2016. And I was just like, because we was playing a lot of games on the phone, because phone games starting to get popular. And I was like, man, I want a real game. And then I just bought a Wii, We just bought a Wii, and then I was just like, dang. I started looking up stuff, learning about systems, because it's been like, something I was so adapted to when I was young. But now I'm back older, and it was like a whole breath of fresh air and new experience to me because so many systems have came out that I missed. And I just started getting into it and start realizing how fun it is to collect for a system and how fun it is to actually own the system and have multiple choices in games. And, you know, and how good it is to have a hobby and to at least put an investment into something, especially if it's something that you like. Because gaming really is a huge, giant industry right now, and people really do want these games, especially the older ones. People really are wanting it, and it's still good to have for yourself, you know. And now it's like I can play almost any game I want, almost just because I put effort into to looking and finding it, you know. But just to show you, like, yeah, it's just suck because I came from crap. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I still got a lot of work and effort to do in my life. Still got a lot more money to make and things to do. But I mean, I got a long ways to go, I'm gonna be honest. Because, you know, my life isn't that great, but I'm never gonna give up. And I'm just happy to at least be doing something and be passionate about something and at least happy to just see, like, it's true. If you put your mind to something and you really do something and really stick to things that you like, then hey, something might happen, man. So I just felt like the video game talking to y'all. That's all this was about. Just me video game and talking, telling y'all a story about me. Cause I don't really talk about myself too much on this channel. I'm always talking about other things and other people, but I don't really talk about stuff that I've been through too much. Not too much, but it's a lot. But there you go. This video is getting long, so I hope y'all enjoy. Tell me y'all video game stories, you know. Tell me what it was. Well, tell me, was it like that with you? Because I know it is a lot of gamers out here that was like me. Like, you grew up, man, I had the games you wanted, so you had to play your games through friends. You know, sometimes you might have a good friend who let you borrow your system. I know there's some good stories about people letting borrow their systems. Oh, man, that's another story I got about how I used to borrow game systems from people and used to rent them. But that's another story and how things turned out with that. But I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. Peace out.